What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of You for the Rising of the Shield Hero Season 4. This is episode 12, also the final episode, and with me, as always, I have Blue Spade.
Yeah. Well, no surprise to anyone. Well, there's going to be a season 5 for the Shield
Yeah,
Hero.
I guess I'm not surprised considering they're doing a Season 4, but, and also considering they've been really hyping up the Phoenix, I mean, I guess it makes sense they're going to do a Season 5, but yeah, I don't know. I'm just, I don't know. It's just a lot of the complaints I have about the series. It's just, I mean, this at least I will say this this episode had a pretty. I mean, well, and people were pointing this out on social media. It did have a pretty decent fight scene, I guess, but like we were saying before we started recording, it's just not enough to save it. It's
The way just what happened before this fight was a little bit weird.
I still am not. I mean, I know who this person. I guess that they revealed who she is, but it just feels like she just comes out of nowhere, right at the end of the season. I mean, I figured that I guess that Makino was supposed to be the main villain, and I guess she kind of is, but then it's I don't know if you could even really call her a villain. It's the really previous empress or whatever.
Yeah. It's just okay. I mean, they didn't really have much of a proper confrontation with Makina at all. It's just
what happens with her is kind of weird too.
Yeah. Okay. So it's revealed that she's been killed off screen, basically just been crushed to death by. You could assume it's like the previous emperor of Kyutenlo, and
well, it looked like when she attacked the temple, I guess some rubble fell on top of her and crushed her.
Yeah, it's not. I don't know. It's not really clear how she ended up dying, but it's just what happens right after it gets a little bit weird. So now Fumi and the others confront the former emperor or the spirit of the former emperor. And then all of a sudden, Makina's soul or spirit tries to take control of the ancestor. And then
what's interesting too is that it looks like she has a slave crest too.
Yeah.
But they never really bring it up again, so I don't know.
No, and of course now Fumi utilizes his Soul Eater shield that he's had that for ever since season 1. So he uses that to his advantage to weaken Makina's spirit, and then and Raphtalia is able to use her katana to I guess destroy the soul or Makina's spirit or whatever it is. To free Raphtalia's ancestor from Makina taking control of her.
Yeah, so Makina was just kind of disappointing as a villain. She just didn't really end up doing anything. I mean,
it's and then of course the final battle takes place between the ancestor and Raphtalia herself. Basically, the former emperor requests that she duel Raphtalia under the condition that if Raphtalia beats her, then she'll free Sildina from her control. So they end up fighting around the castle, and then it's overall I did how the fight was animated. It was mainly just a one-on-one fight between Raphtalia and the former emperor, but of course it's also revealed that the emperor has been deliberately, holding herself back and not really utilizing her full power.
I think she mentioned something about that she wasn't holding back, but it was the body she possessed that had I guess certain limitations or something.
Yeah, I guess that might be true too. But yeah, Raphtalia does hold her own quite well in this fight on her own, without relying on Naofumi most of the time. He did kind of do a pre-fight buff here and there, but he's not involved at all throughout this entire fight.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, yeah, the fight is pretty well animated for the most part. I mean, that's I guess the best thing about it, really. But yeah, I mean, I do like how it's the fight it's just kind of I guess showing how powerful Raphtalia is now, how far she's come, and she's able to take on the previous empress, who is also a Tanuki demi-human. Which I was a little bit disappointed that they didn't really. I mean, we don't really get to learn much about her anyway, other than that she was just one of the previous emperors of Cute and Low. But other than that, she doesn't seem to really have any connection with Raftalia, other than I guess just being the same species. Unless it's gone over more in the novel, which I don't know. But yeah,
I
yeah,
could assume it's gone over more in the novel.
yeah,
So yeah, so in the end, Raftalia is victorious. Over this, over the previous emperor, and so and then so the emperor frees Sildina from her control, and so they end up they end up meeting the current emperor, and then under the condition that he relinquish control of of the of the country, and then allow Raftalia to become the new emperor. Of course, they have to make up the story that they ended up. What was it? I think make up the story that Philo ended up consuming him, and of course, they allow him to to stay in Raftalia's village in Melromark.
yeah. Yeah. So I kind of. I don't know. I was kind of wondering, before they got to this point, like, how exactly was Raftalia going to exactly be the emperor there if she can't really fully, fulfill her role as the emperor, considering she has to help out Naofumi, and she's not always going to be there. Well, they do bring this up in the episode too, is that she's only going to show up at certain times, but she's not always going to be there, which kind of makes me wonder, like, okay, well, if she's not there to fulfill her duties as the emperor, then who's going to fill in for her? Like, what's going to happen then? Like, when she has to go off with Naofumi somewhere, and she's not in Cute and Low. Like,
I mean, she could assemble a full staff to to take over for her.
I guess so.
while
I
she's
just
away.
wish they would have addressed that, because it's just kind of weird, because you just assume, like, okay, well, then I guess nobody's there to rule if she's not there. So I don't know. It's like, I kind of wish they would have done something like this with her character, where she has to almost like choose between her like loyalty to Naofumi and her, like, I guess now new responsibility as the Empress. Like, she just can't have both. Like, that would have been interesting, but they don't do it. Of course, they don't do that. So, um,
It's hard to tell how she can really juggle two different
yeah,
things at once, especially being empress of Cutenlo, which is a huge responsibility
mhm.
just for one thing. But now, she still has to 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 accompany Naofumi with the upcoming battle with the with the Spirit Phoenix, which is
Yeah,
coming up presumably in the next season. So yeah, and then it ends I don't know. It kind of ends a little bit abruptly after this. Um, right before this, we see Motoyasu finally
oh yeah.
confronting Mine.
This is a
It,
really weird scene, honestly. Like, because we hadn't seen mine the whole time, and I wasn't sure if this was real at first. Like, I mean, because it's just the way it happens is so bizarre. Like, he finds her, and she's like running. She's, I guess, running from him, and then he sees her like almost like a pig. But then,
yeah,
like, with no hesitation, he just kills her, or it seems like he does, I guess. Like, she just dies in like this really violent way. Like, she just like you just like blood everywhere, like just blood sprayed across the wall. I
but
mean,
but
obviously
then
she's not dead, I guess, because her hand moved, but it's just I don't know. It's just really weird. Like, it just kind of comes out of nowhere.
yeah,
Um,
it's okay. So what happened was after he presumably killed her, he mentions that oh he forgot to destroy her soul or something like that. But
yeah,
then he'll do it. He'll decide to do it later, and then you can see her hand just twitching while she's supposedly dead on the ground. But then we
yeah.
just don't get really much of an explanation what happens after that.
Well, it's really annoying too, because we hadn't seen her the whole season, so we have no idea like what even the context of even the scene is. Like, I mean, obviously, I guess like Moriyasu was just like chasing her down and kills her, but I mean, I kind of would have liked a little bit more than like, okay, what exactly was Mine doing? Like, I don't know. Like, we don't know what she was doing the whole season, um, and now supposedly, I guess she's dead. So yeah, just really weird. I mean, obviously, she's, like I said, she's not really dead, but. Uh, Yeah, and then like you said, yeah, it just kind of ends abruptly. Like, as you know, we see now Fumbi back in the village, um, with everybody else, and that's kind of the end. Like, that's the end of the season, and then we get like a short trailer, I guess, after the credits for season five, because I guess season five is happening. Um, but I don't know. I mean, there were some parts where it looked kind of interesting, but I don't know. I doubt anything really is gonna like, because there's a scene with Naofumi acting like somebody's like something really bad has happened or somebody's died. But I mean, if we've learned anything from this show, like nobody really dies. So I highly doubt anything bad's really gonna happen. But
I
I
really
don't.
felt like Naofumi didn't really play much of a role this season because
No,
no,
he
he's just
didn't
like
really do anything. He was just kind of. I mean, it was more focused on Raftalia to an extent, but I just feel like it didn't really. It felt like a missed opportunity, in my opinion, to really like further develop her character, and like I said, give her a little bit of a dilemma at the end, like whether or not she should be there to govern Cute and Low or go off with Naofumi. That would have been kind of interesting. Would have given her some character development. I guess you could argue she got some character development, but I don't know. It felt like it could have been done a lot better than the way it was handled in the season.
yeah,
But
it's just and then of course the first half of the season also kind of mostly focused on Full and Atla's
yeah,
backstory. I thought that was handled a little bit better than the Ralph Talia stuff because we get to
yeah,
learn more about their backstory, a little bit more in detail about like what their parents were doing, and then like how they got into this position to be ostracized from uh from people of Siltveld. Um, compared to Ralph Talia, she was just kind of I don't know. I just felt like she was kind of dragged along to do this kind of thing without I don't know without having to do anything to do related to her parents or her family lineage.
yeah. And that way, if it were something to do with that, it would have felt more personal. But because it doesn't really have anything to do with that, it just doesn't really feel that way. It feels like she just kind of has almost like an obligation to do this, just because. Um, so I don't know. I kind of like, yeah. I mean, like you said, I do wish it tied more into her own personal backstory with her parents. And I thought that's where it was going, but it just doesn't do that. So
I I mean
well, and
her
of course,
backstory
I think we should mention too. Like Sildina does also come back. Like she was trapped in that card, but then she's just back to her, you know, comes back to her normal self. Uh,
and I mean, and then of course, like I would have loved to see a little bit more interaction between Sidina and Sildina, but
yeah,
obviously, I don't know. It's possible they might bring this back up in the next season, but it's just the way the show's
well,
being paced at right now. It's not. I don't. Like ever since season two, like the pacing has been wildly inconsistent at times because we don't really get to see
mm,
a lot of development with like certain characters here and there, especially with the side characters. I mean, it's a bit hit or miss, especially like like what they did with the three heroes, the other three heroes back in season three. I think Full and Outlet had somewhat of a better development in this season, but for Raftalia's case, it's like it just I didn't really it just felt like she was just dragged along to do something,
yeah,
rather than being related to her own personal backstory.
yeah, yeah. It really did. I mean, I would agree with that. Honestly, like I don't really have much else to say. It's Shield Hero, in my opinion, just continues to be honestly kind of mediocre. Like I'd give it a five. Like I was debating between a 4 or 5, but I'd say a 5 just because like it's not like bad, but it's just kind of I don't know. I'm not really interested in wherever the plot is going at this point. Um, and it's like you mentioned, like it's just a lot more focus on the side characters, which is fine, but it's just like most of the time it's just not that interesting, and it just feels like there was an opportunity for there to be some interesting character development, but they just don't really do anything with it.
And
So
it's just and also the fact that it's just this questionable decision from going from like a very good first season, which had two cores with it,
yeah,
which gave it plenty of development for Naofumi in particular, just going from bottom to like to one of the greatest heroes, uh, you know, in the nation, and now we have 3 following seasons, which only last like 12 episodes each, which barely has enough time to get anything off the ground here and there.
Yeah, and even then, like you mentioned, the pacing has just been a huge issue throughout like the whole series, like pretty much since season one. Like I would say season one, I don't even think season one had pacing issues. It's weird how that works. Like at every subsequent season has like these just weird pacing issues,
Yeah.
even though they're like shorter. So yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I don't have much else to say about it though. I don't know if you have anything else to say about the season.
I mean, it's not a bad season. I really wish it could have been a little bit better. It's just I just don't like this decision to make all proceeding seasons like much shorter than they are. You know, the way that they are.
Yeah,
So
and I'm already calling like season five is probably also going to be like 12 episodes most likely
yeah,
because it's
more
probably
than
just going to
like
cover the Phoenix arc and then it's probably it.
yeah. I mean, I don't know like how they're gonna keep going from there. I mean, I'm surprised that it's having this many seasons. Honestly, if anything, this if if they would have taken like the season one route, this would have been like 3 seasons at most.
Yeah,
But for whatever reason, they're just keep pumping out season after season after season with where it doesn't seem like there's going to be any end to this at all. I mean, like
yeah,
I've seen other shows with like My Hero Academia, like Attack on Titan. They had multiple seasons here and there, but they gave those shows a lot more time to develop their characters and have a much more at least somewhat more consistent pacing with their storylines. While in this one, like I don't know what they're doing. They just seem to be going from one story to another, without I don't know, without even exploring much of like what is going on at times.
yeah, yeah. I mean that's really kind of the same issues I have with it, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess we can only hope that maybe season five will be somewhat of an improvement, but it's just honestly like even if it is an improvement, it just feels like it's kind of too little, too late. Honestly, like it should have it really should have tried to get better like a couple like maybe it's season or two ago, like season three. I mean, even though season three I wouldn't even say was bad, but I don't know. It just didn't really do anything to really draw me back into the series to make me interested. Um, but yeah, I guess we'll see. Maybe the Phoenix arc will be different. But yeah, guys, that all being said, until next time, we will see you all later.